I don't know how Hizbah Haltat was doing it with so few resources. The front has to serve the people, to go village to village to help the people. They never, feel, weak or feel like hopeless. They keep going. They come and you treat them, they go. In fact, when they go, sometimes they run away. When they go to their unit, they get punished for that because still they have wound there. They were not doing out of frustration. They were doing it out of care. It is amazing. I cannot believe it's blessing to be Tegadalay. We teach them for 3-4 months and we give them bags and medications. This book is locked in the bags. They give medication using this book. They diagnose the disease using this book. Then this is his Baugumbar's Bali. Sene Menghis, Shet Ma'anta, this size Naboru, 15 أوداد. كابهم سلسة سبات رأينا تملسنا زهجر زي معت جانو تخفلو هجر كحلف زي كل نجر زحلفه هجر أبو خلنا وين يدنس وانا قرف بقدام كون كاس أبو خلنا وين يدنس وكا we are doers we not talkers إزم صدرابيت ناي زودقو جانو بسقطنا حلفنات كنوصد لنا قدرت أسكمكم حلفنات كتوصدو كله هيوتكم زعوا هجر كون كندك اسكنت عدنا ينرسع
This evening we will be hearing from our freedom fighters and the protectors of our sovereignty.
We have Menghis, Ghebre, who was an educator on and during MEDA. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how old you were when you joined, what inspired you to join the revolution, where did you spend most of your time, and what role did you have?
Thank you for inviting me and for the opportunity, and thank you for preparing this amazing event. I joined the struggle 1975 while I was 17 years old then. After I finished my training, I had a little bit experience with medicine. I was working as interpreter in Ginda Hospital when I was young. So this was recorded in the recruiting time when I joined it. Then they say, oh, you have an experience. Then they sent me to a team, they called it at that time, Tazawur Tigan Tahakumana, which is a mobile team for helping people. So what we were doing at that time is not Hizbah Gumbar, then it was Hizbah Haltat. This time was, I don't know how the Hizbah Haltat was doing it, but only 5 years old and with so few resources, but still it was sharing. The front has to serve the people. So they created this mobile team to go village to village to help the people, and I was one of the starters. Then after that, Haltat was growing fast. Then we started creating a health station, then health clinics, then hospitals level. When you are Tegadalay, you cannot sit in one department and you continue working for that. The situation always changes and you change with that. I serve sometimes as a nurse for this people service, and sometimes when things change, I work for the military surgical department.
Thank you so much, Menghis.
When I started my introduction, I said Hizbah Haltat, People's Forces for Freedom. They started with mobile teams. We've been carrying the bags, the medication for the whole month, and we were moving from village to village. In fact, our people are nomads. Sometimes you think there is a village, but when you go there, there is no house there. There is no Agnes there, so you have to go look for another village. Then we went to a bigger size. Then we started creating this health station, then health center. Then we keep going until we start creating hospitals. Later on, we started teaching the people themselves. Every village is supposed to have a village health worker, a barefoot doctor. That means Agar Hakim, we call it. For example, if I go to Sahel, one area, every village, they will send a representative who could take the course. And the person who they trust and with a little knowledge to take the courses. So we've been giving this everywhere, almost in Barkan, Sahel, and Samhar. So what I was doing is, well, I grew up, by the way, in a Tigray area, even though I'm from Highlands, but I grew up in that Samhar area, a city called Ginda. So Tigray was my second language, almost, I know them equal. So I started this course. We teach them for 3-4 months, and we give them bags and medications, and we leave them go to their villages. They come every month with a report. They take extra medication. They leave. We give them more education. And this is how we've been doing. At this time, I have to write a book also for them to use it as a reference. So there was an Tigrinya book called Ghebre Hakim. Then I had to translate this to Tigray because at least one half population was covered by the Tigrinya, and second to Tigrinya population is Tigray. I mean, as a population, when you see it as a number. Then, even though there are a lot of Tigray people, but I was close to the profession, so I started it. I finished it in 2 years. We found people in London to offer their honeymoon money for that book, and it was published and brought us to Meda, a kind of 1,000 copies. Then when I teach Agar Hakim or Hakimbar, we call it in Tigray Hakimbar as you read it. So I give this as a reference. This is their life. They don't have any other reference. This is the first book in Tigray medicine book. So last time when I went to Adi, I went to Nqhat. Then on my way back to Asmara, I saw Nqhat pharmacy in my way to Asmara. Then I was curious to stop there, and I said, in fact, I thought maybe I might know these people. Then I got in and I asked them, this is a pharmacy, okay? Nqhat pharmacy. I asked them if they have any reference. This book is locked in the box. They don't even put it on the desk. They put it in the box. They read, they give medication using this book. They diagnose the disease using this book. Then now I have decided to make another copy written in computer. This book, 450 pages, was typed by a typewriter, very, very old way, and is not good to read it. When you flip the pages, they are not good. So I'm working on it to make it eligible and to make it better. This is Hizba Gumbar's plan. They come to the clinics, they come to the stations, they come to the hospitals, but this was not enough. They have to be equipped in their villages. So they had village health workers with a good knowledge that can help them, and of course, midwifers as well on the side. This is my as educator in Meda, and of course, I haven't stopped struggling even right now. I'm gonna work on this book, and I have been through education as well for myself. I didn't stop. In fact, I was so hungry on education, and I brought 3 degrees while I'm here in America. One was a computer science, bachelor in computer science. Then I was a nurse, old nurse in Eritrea, but I was not accepted in here, so I have to go to school again. I got my RN license again. Now I'm 2020 graduate as well as MBA for masters in business administration. So I have been just doing this. This is Hizba Gumbar's Bali. This is how you deal with your life, and you keep going. You keep Shat Ma'anta. This is all things that I taught in Hizba Gumbar.
And now we would like to hear about your experience with Martyrs Day, with legacy, the sacrifices, your but'ots that are no longer here with us made, and how it impacts you today.
When I was working as a nurse for the military injuries or casualties, the worst thing I remember is when there was a Salah Tawarar, let's say it is offensive number 7, after that worst offensive number 6. I was close to the front, and I was having the casualties that are mobile. They don't go to bed. They don't, go far from the front. They move. They help themselves, and sometimes they help you with everything. They feed themselves. They cook, and they are not like they are injured. They're supposed to sit, and we're supposed to take care of them, but it was not like that. So I remember one thing. I always remember it for life. When I was helping the injuries, I was getting people coming back and back again and again, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times, and they never feel weak or feel like hopeless. Their hope never ends, and they keep going. They come and you treat them. They go. In fact, when they go, sometimes they run away. They don't want to wait until you allow them to go. They say, "Hey, Menghis, you think this is fair? This wound, I sit for this wound." Sometimes the wound is deep because the bullet went through the heart, through and through. But it is amazing. I cannot believe how we are created, and how our butsot are created. And I remember sometimes before I get up. All the injuries, or about 20, 30 people are making line to wait for me until I get up. Guess what? Asking me to say, please send us. I cannot do my work, in fact. They keep asking me, Menghis, why I'm here? So it was like, it's blessing to work, to be Tegadalay, to be a fighter, because the moral is like unbelievable. If you don't see them come back after, some days of fight, you think these people are sacrificing that means they are martyrs now. But until that time, they keep going, and I always remember this, and it's a mark in my mind. This happens everywhere. Do you know what? When they go to their unit, nobody accepts them again. They get punished for that. Nobody accepts them because still they have wound there. It's gonna be infected. It's gonna be difficult for the units there. But here, they get their punishment and they go to the front to fight with friends. They were not doing it out of frustration. They were doing it out of care. They love their comrades. They want help. They want to be on their side, and they will give their life for their case. ኣብ ሕክምና ኮንካ ክሰርሕ ከለኻ መስዋእቲ ዘጋጥም ትሪኦ ባዕልኻ ተቆብሮም ቁፅሪ የብሎም ናብኡ ክትዛረብ ከቢድ ነገር እዩ ግን እንታይ ክዝክር ክእል ኣነ ሓደ ምስቶም መተዓቢተይ 15 ወዳት 15 ኣዋልድ ኣብቲ ዝነበረና ዕድመ ኣብቲ ሃገር ኮፍ ኢልና ህይወት ክንካይድ ስለዘይከኣልና ንሰውራን ንመፀሉ ንኸደሉ ግዜ ምስ ኣኸለ እቶም ብውሕዱ እቶም ዝዝክሮም ምሳይ ዝነበሩ 15 ኣወዳት ካብኦም 3 ሰባት ጥራይና ተመሊስና መብዛሕትኦም ስዋኣት እዮም ኩሎም እኳ እንተደይ ዘከርክዎም ካብቶም ሕጂ ምፅእ ዝብሉኒ እዚ ናይ 45 ዓመት ኢና ንዛረብ ዘለና ሕጂ ምፅእ ዝብሉኒ ሰባት ከም ሃብቲ ኪኤል በራኺ ወድሮማ እዚኦም ካብ ግንዳዕድ ወፃና ኢና ማለት እዩ ሰዒድ ዓሊ ብላታ ሓጅ ኣደም ዓብዱ ቤኒ ካልኦትን እቲ ነዊሕ ግዜ ስለ ዝገበረ እቲ ኣስማት እውን እንዳሃሰሰኒ ኸይዲ ሽዑኡ ሕጂ ብሂወት ድሪኦም ክልተ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ኣለና ሳልሰይትና ዘይነብ በሽር ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ከዓ ከምኡ ብሓደ ወገን ከይደን ነይረን ስለዚ እዚ ንምጥቃስ ማሕዙተይ ዝኣክል እዩ ካልእ ግን ሓደ ካብቲ ኣብ ግዜ ምዝላቕ ዘጋጠመን ንእሽቶ ነገር ክጠቅስ ዝኽእል እቲ ሰውራ ክትሓስቦ ከለኻ ዋላ ኣብ ሓንጎልካ ከተዛምዶ ከለኻ ሓደ ግዜ ክርዳእካ ኣይክእልን እዩ ከመይ ገይሩ ተሰጊሩ ከመይ ኢልና ኢና ከምኡ ክንከውን ክኢልና ኣብ ግዜ ምዝላቕ ኣብ ግዜ ከባቢ ከረን ነይረ ኣነ ኣብ እንዳኦርታላ ኣብ ናይ ውግኣት ሆስፒታል እዩ ነይሩና ሕጂ ምዝላቕ ሕማቕ እዩ ነይሩ ናይ ብሓቂ ብዝኾነ ካብ ሓደ ቦታ ትኸይድ ኣብ ሓደ ቦታ መዓልቲ ትገብርን ኢኻ እቲ ኩናት ደድሕሪኻ ስለ ዝኸይድ ሕጂ እቲ ሰራዊት ውግኣት ደርቢልካ ጥራይ እዩ ዝኸይድ ምክንያቱ ሰዓታ ግቡእ መካይን ውግኣት ደርቤናልካ እየን ዝኸይዳ ምክንያቱ ሰዓታ ስራሕን ንስኻ ነዚኦም ከመይ ጌርካ ኢኻ ካብ ቦታ ናብ ቦታ እንዳስገርካ እንዳሓከምካ እንዳቐለብካ ተፃንሖም እዩ ስራሕናትካ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ ኣብዚ እዋን እዚ ናይ ብሓቂ ኣብ ሓደ ኩርናዕ ቁርሲ ምስ ጀመርካ ኣብ ካልእ ኩርናዕ ከይበፃሕካ ድራር ዘርክበሉ ሰዓት ኣሎ ምክንያቱ በቲ ኣብ ሩባና ውሕሪባ ኢኻ ትእትዎም ኣብ ሓደ ኩርናዕ ድሬሲንግ ምስ ገበርካ ነቲ ካልኣይ ኩርናዕ ዘሎ ኣይተርክበሉን ኢኻ ምክንያቱ እቲ ብዝሒ ማለት እዩ ይድረቡኻ እንደገና ከዓ ከተፋኑለካ ንስኻ ከዓ ንውግኣት ከዓኒ ናብ farther ምክንያቱ we are withdrawing strategical retreat እዩ እዚ ኣጋጢሙ ዝነበረ there is no way you stay in place you have to just keep going ሕጂ ብዚ ሙሉእ ለይቲ ትቕበል ውግኣት ሙሉእ ለይቲ ከዓኒ እቶም ክኸዱ ዘለዎም ከዓኒ ተፋኑ ሓደ ግዜ መካይን ሓፅራኻ እንተዘየሎ ከምኡ እንዳበልካ ኣብቲ ፅርግያ ኢኻ ትሓድር ክትራግፍን ክትቅበልን ሓደ ግዜ ኣብኡ ኢኻ ትወድቕ ሓደ ሰብ ጠጠው ኢሉ ፀንሕ ነተን መካይን ምስ መፃሽዑ ብፆት ኢሉ የተሳእካ እቲ ሓደ ግዜ ካብቲ ትውጉእ እቲ መውጋእቲ ኖርማል እዩ ኣብ ሆስፒታል ሲ ኣብ ሕክምና ሲ it happens every time ምክንያቱ ብፍላይቲ ኣብ ግዜ ምዝላቕ ዝነበረ ግዜ ህፁፅ እዩ ጉያ እዩ ኣርክብ እዩ ሰራዊት ክዓግት እዩ ዝጎይ ዘሎ ንስኻ ከዓ ውግኣትካ ፀላእኸ የርክቦም እንዳሓከምካን እንዳኣለኻን ኢኻ ትኸይድ ዘለኻ ሕጂ ኣብ መንጎ ሽሞም ዘይትፈልጦም ዝስውኡኻ እውን ኣለዉ እንዳሓከምካዮም ከለኻ ካበይ ኢሃዱ ከም ዝኾነ ሽሙ እንታይ ምዃኑ ከይፈለጥካዮ ዝሓልፈካ ድሕሪኡ ንዕኡ ክትረክብ ዝካየድ ቃልሲ ከዓ ዝነውሐ ይኸውን ማለት እዩ ኣብ ሰዓት እዚ ኣብ ዕለት እዚ ዛ ማኪና እዚኣ ዘምፃኣቶ ኢልካ ከዓኒ ሕጂቲ ኣነ ብቲ መወዳእታ እንታይ ክብል ዝደሊ እዚ ሃገር እዚ ማዓት ጀጋኑ ዝተኸፈሎ ሃገር ክሕለፍ ዘይክእል ነገር ዝሓለፈ ሃገር ኣብኡ ከለና እውን የደንፅወና ግደፍ ብግዳም ኮንካስ ኣብኡ ከለካ እውን የደንፅወካ እንታይ ዓይነት እዩ ከመይ ኢልና ኢና ሰጊርናዮ እዚ ከመይ ኢሉ እዚ ኩሉ ተኻኢሉ ኢልካ ኢኻ ተሓስበሉ
We received a question from Sanait Tadessa in Oakland. Her question is, as Eritreans, especially ex-fighters, we are very humble, so we often don't hear stories like these. What are some words of encouragement that you have for people to let their stories be heard?
I'll try and say it in a little bit in Tigrinya. So basically, መብዛሕቲ ግዜስ ንዞም ብፆትና ክንዛረቦም ከለና ነቶም ኣቦታትን ኣዴታትን ዝጋደሉስ ብዛዕባ እዋን ሰውራ እዋን ቃልሲ እዋን ኩናት ክንሓቶም ከለና ታሪኾም ብዙሕ ኣይነግሩን እዮም because እቲ ትሕትና so ከመይ እዩ ክትባህል ናይ ህዝባዊ ግንባር it's just ኣነ ንዓይ ምባል የለን always we did this so how can you support your fellow Butot to share more, to share their personal history, just from their own capacities?
There is a culture in Eritrea. We are doers, we're not talkers. It is from our ancestors. I mean, we speak a little. Our work witness itself. We don't say I did this and did that. For example, when I was talking about my book doesn't have my name in it. This is the time I'm saying I wrote this book. If it was in Meda, I would be punished for that. And I cannot say it either. Every product, everything you do is for, you say, we did it. And the book says, Matzhafna Hizbaw Gumbar, not Matzhafna Menghis. Just, you have to understand your family's culture. We don't say, I did this. We don't brag. It's bad for us. It's now that we started talking. I don't say thank you for my closer families because everything they have, I feel it's mine. But in here, I have to say to my dad, to my wife, to my kid, to everybody. I learned it hard way. I mean, it was so difficult to learn it. So Lizzie, what I would try to say is if you try, push them, ask them again and again, motivate them, they will say something. Sometimes, they don't understand how their kids are thinking. They feel like we are in different, thought, in different culture. If you push them, 100% they will talk. But most of the time, the kids stay away from coming close to them and ask them about the history. And I would say, take the initiation, come close to them and ask them, they will tell you. Otherwise, people in Eritrea, it's few words always, but they do the job rather talking. And but we are starting now. We are starting talking. We just, we are trying to open our mouths, and I believe, but encourage them. I have kids. When I start talking to them, they want to go away from me. They really don't like it a lot. So I would talk the whole day if my kids come close to me and say, "Hey, Daddy, what happened? How you been? What was?" No, they don't say that. So you have to take the initiation, and I'm sure the parents will talk. But think of this, our culture is very, very reservative, We are reserved, we talk few, we don't want to brag this, we don't want to say, I know I killed 100 enemies, we don't say, I just, burned a tank, we don't say that. We say, we burned the tank, we killed 100 of them, we captured this, and that even though one person did it. So come close to them and take initiation, and they will be happy to talk to you. They can talk a whole day. Thank you very much.
How us as the youth can support you all in talking about things that you endured that were difficult to talk about.
First of all, I would appreciate the girl that asked to help us. I appreciate her, and she was right. I wouldn't say there is no war trauma in Eritrea. Maybe a little bit. Somewhere, but it's not as much as other countries' trauma. Again, but what I would say is, for example, now when I go from place to place, whenever I see someone coming close to me, and when they hear my accent, they directly ask me, and I create this mood to just to be asked. I cannot start talking until they leave, to tell them about my country history. They really love it at the end, and they appreciate me. And this is a new history, it's a record for them because very little people know the detail about Eritrea. So what I would say, just go and do the job. Go and talk to friends. Go and teach them and tell them the history. There are a lot of young people in America and elsewhere. They know little about Eritrea. They are not organized. They are not working together with YPFDJ or Hydri. Just go, teach, bring them toward you, organize. That's the only I can say. Us, we are okay. We have a less trauma, even though you can find here and there, but it's not an issue in Eritrea. But go ahead and take initiative and teach the young in around you. Thank you very much. ኣብዚ እዋን እዚ እቲ ፃውዒት ክገብረሉ ዝኽእል ነገር ሲ እዞም ስድራ ቤት ናይ ዝወደቁ ጀጋኑ ብፆትና ሓላፍነት ክንወስድ ንኽእለሉ መንገዲ ክህሉ ኣለዎ ሳያታናት ዘረባ ሰባት ክንጥውር ስድራ ቤታት ክንጥውር ክንክእል ኣለና እቲ መንግስቲ ዓቕሙ እንዲዝገብር ዘሎ ግን እኹል ስለ ዘይኮነ ንሕና ስድራናን ደቅናን ምዃኖም ስለ ዘይተረፎም እቶም ስድራ ቤት ሰማዕታት ሓላፍነት ክንወስድ ኣለና ኣትሊስት ዋን ፋሚሊ እንተሓመቕና ንሓደ ዓመት ንኽልተ ዓመት it doesn't cost a lot. So أنا كم إلى مزخاري كبيدلي بسترفقن حدري YPFDJ حلفنا تسكم لجزية سلزخانة تبعكم كتقالسو من ساعات كتودبو زي اللي نايقون نزرباتات جنايات أمونغو أتيوم نمنتاي من رجال يقبر نمنتاي بريزيدنت سجاب حجي أبصراحة الله نمنتاي زي وايدس اندوا إذا كله نانسانس ناتكم attention زغير نجاري عدي بتزقبا درجة بتزفك ذلا درجة أبغى زي هتركب زلا كم تقدم حجز حلفنا يو كان حلفهم خلنا رجوسيو كحلف زي كأن نجارو حلفنا إذا قد you know this is a lot smoother تلزي حضرت السكيمكم من ساعات كتودبوا حلفنا كتوسدوا كله هوتكم زعوا هجر خون كم زي حربنا زبالو كندك كنت عدنا ينرسع زبالو that's what I want to say at the end زخرين سمعتاتنا عوضنا حفاش thank you نزي أداليكم أب كم زي زبصحكمنا I appreciate that.
Thank you, Menghis.
تجرو أبكرنا أفريقيا بزحزق عنقان ندرجي دقفا جيرن بيت أو خيدان نمدم ساسورا فوريتا مكرا نايمة دايرتنا